What's up, everybody? It is Jay here, and apologies, it has been a while since I have put out a video. Things have been pretty busy. Also, happy 4th of July to all my Americans out there. But yeah, it has been a while. Things have been busy, but I have been meaning to do this react for a while. Today, I'm going to be reacting to the boxing match between QB Passport Flexin and Mulano. A little background on this one, both of these guys are travel YouTubers, and they had a little bit of a beef, and they decided to squash that beef by getting into the ring and fighting it out like men. So I'm going to break down some of the advantages that one fighter had, the training that another fighter had, and how it all stacks up, right? So without further ado, let's get into it. Right, so here we are. That's Mulano over there with the black trunks and the black headgear. And hold up. There we go. Here's QB. You can see QB coming in probably around, I think he said he's 6'3", around 220 pounds. Mulano, I think 5'6", also around 220 pounds. I hope they announced the weight, honestly. Let's see that here. Let's actually fast forward to when they get in the ring. Here we go. Mulano making his grand entrance. Here comes QB. Okay. I always like to do that in track before a race, just little jumps around to get loose. They never announced the weight. This guy he's giving them their instructions. But you can already see here. So you can see here, right? Like the reach advantage, clearly QB, right? QB is clearly around 6'3", possibly 6'4". Mulano, I would guess, is probably around like 5'6" or 5'5". Mulano kind of have they've got roughly the same size arms though, and Mulano he's got the belly here. Let's just call a spade, right? He's out of shape. He is very out of shape, Mulano. But again, props to him. He got in the ring, right? And this is 90% of men are not even going to do this. But he is out of shape. I would say these guys are roughly around the same weight though. Mulano's just got a bigger belly. Does have some bulk on his arms though. So let's see how this goes. They're gonna touch gloves. And let's start us off, right? Okay, here we go. So this is good. Mulano's got gloves up. QB, you can see he's grinning. Look at the reach advantage QB has though. QB is using the jab to keep him away. QB is already punching him into the corner there, knocks him down once. And I want to say that for when you don't have that reach advantage, but you're of similar weight though, you've got to get inside that wingspan quickly. If you let a person with larger reach use that reach to keep you away, you are in big trouble. If you want to see an example of someone who uses this successfully, check out any Mike Tyson fight in the late 80s and early 90s, right? Mike Tyson immediately gets inside the wingspan. I'm not gonna put any of them in the video because he'll get copyrighted for that. But just watch, Mike Tyson versus Terrell Biggs, and you can see what happens. Lennox Lewis, and you can argue that Mike Tyson was well past his prime, post-prison, on a lot of drugs at that point. But Lennox Lewis used that strategy. He jabs him and stepped back. Anyway, let's continue. So Mulano's already being counted.
Let's go, Mulano.
Um, all right. Mulano. Now I want to remind you, Mulano has had training leading up to this. QB really hasn't. But you can see QB is clearly in better shape, right? QB is doing his little Muhammad Ali dance, right? And Mulano's dropped again, right? Right there. Mulano gets dropped again. And he's already winded. QB is not playing. QB is just putting on a show at this point. But it kind of turns around here. Wait till you see what's coming up. I have seen this fight already. Full disclosure. Mulano is keeping his feet a good distance apart. Now, okay, that was a good slip. He slipped that one, and he drops again. And just the thing is, Mulano is getting very out of breath already, while QB isn't. I think he eats the jab there. Come on, don't. Oh. Let's go back to that. Right, that was a good. See, remember I was telling you about that fight really, really close to opponents who have longer reach than you? Or just watch this real quick.
Oh no!
Ooh, that hook right there, that rung QB's bell though, and you can see Mulano had to get really close to land it, but really good. QB was not able to defend against that. Good hit right there. That right hook. Sorry, left hook. My right. Another. Oh, okay. He comes in now. See Mulano being smart here, getting in. Look how close he is to the proximity to QB, eliminating that reach advantage. This is good. He learned this somewhere. Okay. Woo. Connects another one here. And you can see again. So what QB has got to do is use that jab, use that reach to keep him outside. Because this is what can happen when you let someone with less reach but similar weight on the inside. Let's watch that again. Ooh. Right, that was a clean headshot right there. Point Mulano on that one. Now here comes QB. Mulano fighting QB back a little bit there. Pushes him back. Round's over. Okay. I'm not going to lie. Mulano won that round. But you can see here, he's pretty out of breath from that. QB is just chilling. You can see, like, you're going to argue, right, that, like, it's called weight class, not height class, right? Reach is definitely a factor, and it would be a huge cope to pretend it's not, right? But these guys are around a similar weight. You can actually see here, right? QB's arm versus Mulano, who's all the way over here. Now, granted, like with Mulano, and again, he knows this. He's taking the appropriate steps to change. I have seen it. I love how this one ended too, with them squashing the beef. These two have buried the hatchet now. But let's just call a spade a spade. Mulano is very out of shape. He's got fat arms. These are not pecs here, if I'm putting it nicely. But QB can absolutely last a lot longer than this guy, right? And if you have an opponent who is a lot bigger than you, one of the strategies you have is to gas them out, make them tired, make them just tucker out and run out of energy. If you want to see a great example of this, look up 175-pound MMA fighter versus 500-pound sumo wrestler. The sumo wrestler is just chasing this. He's got almost a 400-pound weight advantage. He's chasing him around the whole time, and he just tuckers out and basically collapses from exhaustion. Anyway, let's continue. So here we go with round two. I don't know. By the way, let me know in the comments who won round one. QB dropped him twice, but Mulano really took the second half and did land some nice hits on QB and also eliminated QB's reach advantage by getting in on the inside, getting inside his wingspan quickly there. Let's see what happens here. Okay, round two. Good footwork by Mulano too, keeping his legs, apart. QB jabs. QB is using the jab. That's good. QB is using that jab and then just proceeds to pummel him into the corner. If Mulano had a little more muscle, he would be able to avoid that from happening. The thing is like when it's fat and not solid muscle, it is hard to you kind of get it's like jelly, right? It's like getting like pushed around easily. Anyway.
Let's see what that boxing training is paying off. Let's go, Mulano.
Trying to work the body, okay, but getting pushed back again. And QB is just dancing out of the way. He's playing with him. I mean, QB is really not trying. Oh, okay. Connects the haymaker right there. Mulano's getting back up though. I will say none of these are putting him away. I also don't think QB is going as hard as he could have here. He's being nice. He says he's not playing, but we know you playing a little bit, QB. Come on now.
Let's go.
We got round 3. That comment was brutal. Not nice. Not nice. Mulano just didn't even need to drop there. I think that was just a function of him being like out of shape. He didn't even get hit. Okay. That wasn't. Yeah, he rung QB's bell there. Let's watch that again. That left hook. Good job. Well, Mulano's gonna have a hard time. Here he is getting in on the inside again. I feel like this is the same round we just watched. It's later in the video. That's round. Yeah, this is the same round we just watched. Okay. And Mulano, okay. Let's watch that. Mulano knocks himself out here. Look at this. He goes to hit QB, right? And that was a little bit of a cheap shot, back of the head, right? The ref should call that. And then he knocks himself down, okay? This is absolutely just Mulano being out of shape here. QB didn't even hit him, right? He just knocked himself out and dropped. So again, right, when you come into these things, and again, hindsight is 20/20, but Mulano, man, like you can't you had it technique and it showed, right? You were using it. You rung QB's bell a few times, but you got to get into better condition for these things. Let's continue. Ooh. Mulano landing some solid hits here, man. QB dropped his gloves. And that is what can happen. So that is where technique, when you're going against somebody who is in better shape, that is where technique can pay off a little bit. But will it be enough to win? Let's find out. Yeah, Mulano is he's really reeling. He's you can see it. You can see the sweat in his eyes. He's tuckered out. QB hasn't expended much energy. Okay, Mulano got him against the rope there. All right, but you gotta watch those cheap shots in the back of the head. But QB, he's smiling. He wasn't really shook by it. QB's laughing. Yeah, Milano, that face right there. My man's out of breath. He's winded. Here we go. Last round. Last round. Oh, don't turn your back, Milano. That's bad.
Let's go.
Yeah, and that's
Oh
it.
no! Oh no! Oh no!
Mulano keeps. That's it. That's what I'm saying. He didn't even hit him. Mulano is just like I think he's tripping over his own weight. It didn't really make any sense. The dude just keeps falling down. They gonna call this here? Okay, we're gonna finish it. Here we go. QB is like, I'm over it. Just eats a few. Okay. Good, better work defending there. Yep. Lana, you gotta stop turning around, man. Okay. Couple of good slips actually there, and then Milano just drops. And then Milano just drops. Like he's so out of shape. That's what I'm saying. He didn't hit you. He really didn't even hit him. I think you got to call this though. Milano's just dropped too many times. Regulation match, 3 drops and he would be down. They're really gonna let this continue. All right. Oh, only 30 seconds left. Okay. QB ain't even tired though. No, that's it. Done. Literally just pushed him. That wasn't even a punch. That was just more of like just a shove. Mulano didn't defend at all. It's over. And QB wins the prize of $1,000. So guys, that was QB versus Mulano. QB obviously winning and showing us that, yes, definitely a size advantage there. We saw Mulano overcome it a couple of times, but my takeaway from this is being in much better physical shape and conditioning than someone else is going to be the biggest factor in whether you are going to be able to win in a fight or not. Full stop, right? At least if you're around a similar weight. Yes, weight is a huge factor, right? Now you have somebody like QB who is around 6'3" and should be around 220 pounds, honestly, right? Because if somebody is significantly shorter than you and you are the same weight, they weigh more than you, if that makes sense. Because you have to factor in things like bones, and if you are the same, then actually center of gravity is going to be on the side of usually generally the shorter person, right? Because if you get hit and you're further away from the ground, you have the propensity to fall a little faster. So, but yeah, Mulano, and hey, Mulano is doing the right things now. He's taking care of himself. He's getting into better shape. Would love to see this rematch down the road. But as it stands, QB, very athletic guy, does a lot of working out on his channel, has lost a lot of weight, in great shape. So yeah, when QB is looking at around, 6'3", 215 pounds, to quote our former president, that's going to be one heck of a good physique. And again, much respect to both these guys for actually getting in the ring and doing it. We've got these LARPers right here, right? Who would never do this? The alleged, MMA fighters, MD and Scribe here. And I want to actually just point this out here, right? You take a guy like MD who claims he's 6'2" and 180 pounds, right? That is just, he would get absolutely demolished by QB here, right? Because QB has got 40 pounds on him and is only about an inch taller. Heck, dare I say it, MD would get demolished by me, right? Because I'm 5'7" and still weigh more than him, and as you can see here, in pretty decent shape, right? And we're talking about overall athleticism. Here's me bench pressing 305 pounds. Let's see. Here is me doing a 38-inch box jump. Also, recently I'm running my miles again below 7 minutes, like 6:45. So again, right, just the more athletic you are, the more tools you have to defeat somebody. You like if they are significantly bigger than you have the option to gas them out if you have better endurance. A guy like MD who only weighs 180 pounds at 6'2", right? That's like a stick figure. So he gets punched by someone with significant weight. He's got really no padding to protect himself. His feet are going to come off the ground and he's going to crumple to the canvas. Bad news, right? You talk about a guy, and yes, like how much you can bench press does not dictate how well you will do in a fight, obviously. But it is a good indicator of upper body strength. And let's just put it this way, a guy who's going to struggle to, bench 185 to 225, getting hit by someone who's in the 300 club, you best believe it's going to ring their bell. And you go to like an MMA scenario, like getting grabbed or grappling, that's just instant death right there. And then let's talk about this fat boy you've got in Scribe. You just dance circles around him and wait till he tuckers out. You hit him in the ribs a few times and he's going to be winded. So again, these guys are absolute larpers and jokes. Would absolutely get their ass kicked by me. They'd get their ass kicked by QB. I'm actually, even Mulano in the shape he was in this QB fight, would actually probably win against these guys. It would actually be pretty close, all right? Like, I don't want to be, like too mean to Mulano here, but like, yeah, like it would be pretty close. He might lose, but again, it would be pretty close. But Mulano knows what he's got to do, right? Because Mulano does have some good things going for him. He does actually have it looks like he's got the genetics to actually get some pretty big arms. He's not an ectomorph. And I want to point that out here, right? Like, you take a guy like MD, you can see here, he's an ectomorph, which is that tall, skinny type. They just have narrow bones. And most likely they have those. Are comprised of primarily the slow twitch muscle fibers. They're better at like endurance things like running and swimming, but they don't really have explosive strength. They're not going to really be able to lift a lot of weight. They're not usually good at jumping or sprinting, things that require explosive movement. That's really going to be the difference here. But you don't see a lot of elite ecto. You don't see a lot of ectos, right? In combat sports, you see mainly there's some endos, and I would argue that Mulano is definitely an endomorph. QB is more meso. You can see he's got that very wide shoulder to hip ratio. I would argue that I'm pretty meso. I'm actually reasonably in the middle of both there. Because again, right, able to lift pretty heavy weights. And I'm decent at endurance too, believe it or not. Back in the day, I did run a mile below 5 minutes. I think 4:54 was my PR. So again, right, like kind of in that like middle ground where you're not, the endomorphs are just wide, right? They don't necessarily have to be tall, but they're just wide. But that can be a good thing. A lot of elite lifters, a lot of elite power lifters are endomorphs. Mulano is definitely an endomorph. So Mulano, I would like to see you, utilize this. Like to see you get in the gym, start lifting heavy, build some power, and make that kind of the cornerstone of your strategy, right? Work, obviously, anything you can work on your endurance, work on your agility, work on your ability, your footwork, your ability to slip in and out. You had some pretty good slips during this fight. You did dodge a couple of QB's punches, so I'd like to see you, continue to strengthen all of that. But I actually really think, if you start lifting, building some muscle, you can deliver some hits that would be pretty devastating. You just weren't strong enough to do it here. You did land some good hits on QB, but there was really nothing behind it. So that's my take on this one. I've been waiting to react to this for some time, guys. So appreciate you guys for watching. If you made it to the end of the video here, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I will have some more free time to put out some content soon. But for those of you guys who've been here from the start, this has been Jay Tahoe. Thanks for watching.